So this is home learning help. I think this was the last one, home learning in your book, hopefully. So the first part, so you've got Peter, Tarish and Ben. So Tarish gets 3 times as much as money as Peter. So Peter can be X, Tarish can be 3X, because it's 3 times as much. Ben gets twice as much money as Tarish, so it's going to be 6X. Okay, so if we add them together, it's going to give us 10X. And then we divide by 10. I think most of you have done this correct. How much does Ben get? So we do that. And we get a calculator because we're lazy. And then we get £32.40. Okay. And then the next one, question 2, expand and simplify. So we do 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times square root 2 square root minus square root 2. Then that is plus 3 square root 2. And that's going to be minus square root 4. So let's simplify that. You know square root of 4 is going to be 2. That's a 1, remember. So 3 minus 1 is 2. And then you've got the 3 minus the 2 is 1. So it's going to be like that. And a and b are integers. And it has square root 2 because that's what it asks you for in the question. Okay. Now 3 we have to factorize. So let's factorize this one. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 numbers that multiply to give you minus 10, and they add to give you 9. So we know 10 times 1, and that means the 1 would have to be negative. Okay, so we put that in. So instead of 9, I write the 2 numbers I found. Okay, and then I split it. So 2x bracket x plus 5, just factorizing. We all should know how to factorize. If you don't, oh my god. And then we do 2x minus 1 and then x plus 5. Okay, so I factorize the first one. Now the second part, factorizing the denominator. So again, 6 times 1 is 6. 2 numbers, they multiply to give you 6. They add to give you minus 5. So we know 3 and 2, 3 and 2. And there would have to be negative. Yeah? Because then that will give you a positive, and that will give you a negative. And then we put it back in to the equation. Instead of the minus 5, I'm going to write minus 2x minus 3x plus 1. Split it. So they have 2x in common. 2 times what gives you 6? 3x. 2 times what gives you 2x? Minus 1. Minus, what do they have in common? 1. Minus 1 times what gives you 3x? So it's going to be 3x. Minus 1 times what gives you plus 1? It has to be minus 1. So then you've got 3x minus 1 and 2x minus 1. So let's substitute these brackets into here. So the first one, I'm going to replace it with these 2 brackets. And then the second one, I replace it with the ones I just done. And what do you notice? They're the same. So I can cancel it. Okay. And what do I have left? I have x plus 5 and 3x minus 1. Okay. I can't simplify it any further. The next one, the circle theorem. Need to learn the circle theorems off by heart. Let me just work and write on it. What am I doing? So they tell you AC is the diameter. So straight away, that means this is a semicircle. So then I know this right here. It's going to be a right angle then. Remember, angle in a semicircle, when you make it into a semicircle, the angle you create in this triangle is going to be a right angle. So if that's 90, we can work out this one. So 90 plus 25, it's going to be 115. And 180 minus 115 is going to be 65. So that means this is 65. Okay, and then that means, and then you have to say the reason. So angles in a semicircle is 90, and angles in a triangle add up to 180. Now what can you see about this? That's the same segment, isn't it? This and this. What are the same segments? The same segments are equal. So we know this one is 65. Okay, and we're looking for DAC, so we're looking for this one. Okay, so now I know this angle. This is the angle I'm trying to find. I can work, this is a straight line, so I can work out this one quite easy. It's going to be 80. This angle's in a straight line add up to 180. So now I know 80 plus 65, and if I take that away from 180, and I'm being really lazy, 80 plus 65 is going to be 35. Okay, remember to put all those reasons we spoke about. Now next one, the graphs. Just do the ones you definitely know first. Okay, so looking at A, we all should recognize A. Okay, it's a reciprocal one. For some reason, as I told you, it printed over here, the 4 over x. So just write that in here. Okay, there's no other reciprocal one, so I know that's going to be A. Okay, now if you look at the rest, this one is definitely quadratic. It's like a bell shape. Do I have a quadratic? I have one here, and I only have one. So this one, and it has a intercept of 5, which looks right. Okay, because it's definitely in the positive. So that's F. It's definitely quadratic, so I'm going to put it here. Okay. Now the sin graph, we know the sin starts at 0, 0. Now these two are trigonometry graphs. Okay, trigonometric graphs. So we know this one starts at 0, 0. This one starts at 0, 1. So you should remember this graph starts here. So that's going to be E. And the cos graph starts at 0, 1. That's going to be B. Okay. It's 4. That means it's just a bit more squashed. They've stretched it. Okay. That's why it looks like that. If you look where it intercepts the y-axis, that's going to help you. Okay. Now this one, it looks like a quadratic at the beginning, you can see, and then it drops down. So that's the cubic graph. And there's one here because there's no other cubic graph. Okay. And then this one is going to be this one, C, which we're going to do a little bit more work on this one. Okay. And that's it.